All right, Mary, CWC, Friday night, cleaning, streaming, wifing, lifing, shopping in shores, blue-pilled boars. They're not so boring. I've been around a lot of blue-pilled this week. They're all nice. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I want to kick it off right there. They're so boring. You can't talk about anything. Everything is so superficial with these blue-pilled people. It's
True.
like I don't know. They're all what they say is nice. They're all very nice, but as my mother says, nice is the weakest adjective in the English language.
Totally. And you're right. It's because they're my new co-workers at the doggy daycare I work at, where the conversation is about dogs all day. So
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite, and three of them wear masks, all the younger people. These young people have been so traumatized. But they're nice, like you said, they're so nice, they're so helpful, they're so patient, they're so apologetic. Like when they're training me, like, I'm sorry, am I going too fast? I'm sorry, but they're so nice. And today they kind of mixed things up with me, and like we were outside with the dogs, and one of them goes, okay, he goes, if you could take home 3 dogs and they'd be yours forever, which ones would you pick right now? And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of interesting. So it's kind of like a little game they play. So it's all about the dogs. It's all about the dogs, and they're very nice. But you're right, they are so boring. But not but if you love dogs, then you know.
I don't
Hope
know.
you
I feel like even with my own children, there's only so much, like, again, not trying to be a jerk, but my neighbor came by and she was walking her dog, very, very cute Wheaten Terrier. And so we were talking, the dog comes over and I'm patting the dog and we're chit chatting. And eventually it got to the point where I felt like being like, so what else is going on? Like, what else is new? Because this is so superficial. You know what I mean? But that's just me. I want to get to the meat. Give me the meat,
I don't
you
know if
know?
these people have any meat. I don't know. But then Glitchy surprised me this week, and I told Joe, I'm like, I can't call her Glitchy. She's not an NPC. She's Glitchy, the one we talked about at my other job.
Of course.
And she's never gonna see this, and you guys have no idea who she is. But she came up to me and she's like, I need you to pray for me. And it's like, of course. And she's like, she's like, every day, Faye, I'm just thinking about death and dying, and it's freaking me out. And I did think about her, and I texted her later that day, and I was like, she is not an NPC at all. You know what I mean? I shouldn't call her, but she does glitch out when Trump comes out up sometimes. I gave her a quote that I heard on a Brandon Bonanza's stream in passing this week. He reads a quote when he starts, and it said, in life, and I really like this, in life, you need to balance the terror of being alive with the wonder of being alive. And I was honest with her. I said, every night when I go to bed, I think I'm another day older. I think 2 things. I think, oh, another wonderful day with my husband and children. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm like, oh no, I'm another day closer to either being off this earth or lose, like, you know what I mean? I'm just being honest. It is a balance of terror and wonder. What are you thinking about?
There's a lot with that. Like basically the natural fear of death, and then there's the Christian perspective. But I feel like that hurdle of the great leap from time to eternity, it's such a mystery that I don't blame people for being frightened. But at the same time, I was saying to a couple of friends of mine on Discord the other night, like, with, first of all these people with cancer, like even just talking to my neighbor, her 29-year-old son's girlfriend has some sort of a breast cancer. And then I'm on Discord and I'm hearing all the prayer requests of all these people that have cancer. So, it does remind me that, like, yeah, I had cancer and they wanted me to, I shouldn't even say this. If my mother ever heard this, she'd be like on the phone with me being like, you have a responsibility to those children. But it's like, I don't even want to deal. What's the worst thing that happens? Because in a lot of these cases, it does seem like the cure is worse than the disease and things like that. So it's like, as much as I do fear that moment that's going to happen to all of us, that, as I said, the leap there from, being alive to the next stage, it's like, there's a lot that's not worth it to me, that I'm just like, yeah, well, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, that was my whole thing with the medical psyop. I said, you know what, guys, there's worse things than death. And the way what you're going along with and giving up your dignity and your critical thinking and sacrificing your children, to me, that was worse than death. I would rather, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Is Glitchy, is she at all, what does she like, is she Christian, is she Jewish?
She was raised Catholic, and she has a friend that's a priest. She's very spiritual. She has a tattoo of a cross on her forearm. She likes her tattoos. She's a hot little number, let me tell you. She's the best trainer in the area. Like, you heard her clients. She's very talented, but she does glitch out with Trump. She's just not hearing me that he is not her friend and not on her side, and she doesn't like to talk
right. No, I'm just curious, the fact that she's having these like days of fear, but you said she's a bit older, right?
She's a little bit older than us. She is she's in her early 50s, so she's she's a little bit older.
It is scary.
I wish I looked as good as her. I'll tell you that. It doesn't mean anything.
Oh, please. You look fabulous. But it is kind of scary. Like, when, like, my mother, who's almost 80, it's like, when do we feel our age? Because my mother, she's like, I forget I'm 80 until I go and look in the mirror. It's like, oh, right. Yeah. I'm an old lady now, And so is it like this midlife thing where we start going through like our mortality? What is that? What it's called? Our mortality, and you get over it again?
None of us even know how old we are. That's what I say. Like, I get really triggered when, like, Joe will tell everybody my age and my birthday, and it's just annoying. I don't know why he does that. It's like none of his business, and it's like. And he, like, even my kids one day, he was like, they were like, we know how old you are. And it's like, Joe, like, no one, who knows how old any of us are? So he's just, I don't know. I don't know, like, feeling our age. Like, I don't know. I was just telling you, like, before, like, because I haven't worn makeup in 2 weeks because last week was nice. I was, like, in the dark. I was doing my makeup tonight and I, like, forgot a step. And so now when I look at myself, I'm like, wow, that step is really important at this age. So I'm sure no one else is noticing. So we're our own worst critics,
I know. I have a white light. I was saying this to Faye. Usually I have like just my lamps in my rooms, but tonight I have an LED light it's a daylight light that was in my basement. I was like, I'm going to pull this up because I do usually look like I have jaundice. So I brought it up, and yeah, so now I have a daylight bulb, but it's like giving me a headache. But anyway, who cares? Nobody cares how we look. How's that? Well, you and I care.
We do. We're girls, okay? And girls like to talk about makeup and stuff like that. I'm not going to apologize for it. So. But last week was a nice break. I was like, Mary's going to have makeup on. I'm going to do this in the dark. Let's talk about last week was fun.
Last week was fun. It was fun. It's a little.
I finally listened back, and I don't know if you listened back, but I was like, you guys, I was not faking when I was like, oh, really? Oh. I was. I love that stuff, but I was a little afraid.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. I did pose this question to you. I don't know why my family has so much paranormal things happen. It's like, to us, it's normal. And it's I kind of started freaking me out a little bit that night because I was like, wait, are we targeted?
I know, it like kind of hit me midstream. I was like, wait a second, what did I think Mary and her family's spooky story stream is going to be like. Like, I knew it wasn't going to be cookie cutter. But the funniest to me is when Ray called in. We're talking about the supernatural ghosts and cryptids, and Ray mentions the Mandela effect, and all of a sudden, Matt and Meg are like, "Well, I don't know. It's copyright issues." I'm like, "Wait, guys, what are you talking about?" And
yes, but it was interesting. Yeah, go.
I called Mary the next day. My laptop died. And I was like, I have a bone to pick with you. And she's like, what is it? I'm like, Ouija. No one calls it a Ouija board, Mary. And since then, we grew up together, Mary, and we talk because it's your family. And I'm so interested and intrigued by this stuff. We have had many conversations about the Ouija board. I specifically remember you saying none of you ever called it the Ouija board. You always called it the Ouija board.
So I called after I spoke with you. I called my sister and I said, what do you call that board with all the letters and numbers and it, you move the little thing around? What do you call that? She's like, the Ouija board. I'm like, you guys are idiots. It's not even spelled. It ends in an A. Why are you all calling it a Ouija board?
You said Ouija board back in the day. I asked everybody. I asked 2 people on the phone when you were there. Your daughter said Ouija. My daughter said Ouija. No one calls it that. So that was like, I was like, what the hell? Ouija.
Maybe we should have let Ray finish that Mandela effect thing. Maybe at some point, because you brought up a Q, maybe it did end in an I. I don't know. Because, Matt wasn't having it. My brother, Matt, and the Mandela effect.
Which is insane to me because he's so open to the supernatural in other ways. And I love Matt, but like, I'm really getting to the point. I agree with it doesn't have to be people's favorite topic to discuss. But if you consider yourself some sort of truther and you're not open to it, some of them are so what's the word? You can't argue with it. And I just really don't have time for people like that. I really don't. It's hard for me to respect people. Are you freezing?
No.
Oh, no, she's very serious.
I'm not. Stu just said, what in Flatlantis is going on? It took me way too long to process Flatlantis. I've never seen that before.
Stu.
Yeah, Stu and Joe are here. So, what else you got, sister? Not what else, but...
Me?
I had a weird experience today. I was going downtown, driving my son to work. And so we're sitting at an intersection, but we're 10 cars back. And we hear something. And we're like, what is that? And so my son rolls down the window. And I'm like, is that a fire alarm going off or whatever? And he's like, no, it sounds like a whistle. So finally, we get through the sets of lights and we're driving through and there's this guy on the corner with the F Joe Biden flag with a impeach Joe Biden sign, 2 American flags, blowing a whistle. And my son's like, that guy is just obnoxious. Okay. But then we're just kind of laughed at that guy. Actually, are we going to get in trouble now that I just said what that guy had on his sign?
You're just talking about some guy. I mean,
But anyway, so then we look and the car in front of us had all these bumper stickers on it that was pro-choice, actually, that this is what it said. Actually, guns do kill people. It's once you start anything with actually, just hang it up. Then they had a bunch of the gay flags on their cars. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe people are just getting so political that everybody's becoming obnoxious now. I mean, the whole thing, it's so I got some dude on one side of me blowing a whistle, being like, impeachment is coming. And the person in front of me that may as well have been giving me the middle finger on so much of the agendas we know that are going on. So that was, and then we got down where I dropped my son off, and the guy there, this time he was playing the fiddle again, the guy who does the begging, and we were all dying laughing. He's not even crying anymore, Faye. Now he's just there like this. It's like, bro, everybody's just, I don't know. There's something going on.
We live in a mental institution. We really do. That's why I love the dogs. Even with it, like, I just, I'm behind on my truth or news. I was telling you, because dogs don't lie. Some are gross, some are amazing, some are cute. So, like, I just love it. Who are you looking at?
Oh, Stu, hold on. Antichristish. Okay, I was like antichristish.
Everything's inverted. Everything's inverted. It's really upsetting. Before this, I was listening to Jim Bob, and just Joe likes Jim Bob better than me. Jim Bob is a little bit of a boys' club, and that's fine, But Jim Bob, he sucked me in because he was talking about veganism and the feminine spirit, and like, I'm with you, like this whole like, oh, I'm gonna take care of you and this feminized spirit, but it's like, really, at the end of the day, you're just a bunch of guys gossiping and fighting. Who's feminine? You know what I mean? I was saying this to Joe. I'm like, everyone I see, the guys are gossiping, fighting. They're acting more bitches than the bitches, in my humble opinion. Get it together. Am I being a jerk?
Everybody's so emotional. Even women used to be able to hold their crap together better than this. But this is a weird synchronicity. So my other cousin told me about this rabbi over there. He has a crazy name like Shlom, Rav Shlom or something. Anyway, and he's over there and he's performing miracles. So I had to watch some videos and then take it to Discord, and I was asking some people about what they thought of this guy. And yeah, people are very, very divided on if he's the Antichrist, precursor, the false prophet. Yeah, in some people are like, no, like Frank is like, no, he's not the Antichrist. He doesn't fit the prophecies about him. But he's hitting some he's playing a certain role. I mean, it could be
a script. They're using the scriptures as their script for whatever. Mm-hmm. They're desperately trying to, like, I think there's somebody that's trying to usher in the end of the world, but they're definitely pushing this end of the world, end times vibe. A lot of trolling going on. Lots of trolling.
That is true. It's like sometimes I do have to ground myself with remembering how many generations have set dates, how many generations are like, we will be the last generation. I can't pause it. I'm on a live. My daughter's over there going like this. I look at her. She goes, "Did you pause it?" Well, yeah. What? I literally can't pause it. Why? You got something to say, B-Dad? Actually, that's interesting. She just said your baked beans were good. I did your mother's recipe, Faye. Your mother gave me the recipe, so it was a big hit.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan. I was thinking about you and your food stuff, though. Like yesterday, last night for dinner, we had my favorite fried chicken. I love fried chicken. And I got a big bag of fried chicken, and I said, Mary, there's only 8 pieces in here. And I'm like, this, like this, the world is just... That wouldn't be enough for your big family. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Yeah. I'm frozen. I don't know. Am I frozen or am I just really, really still? Because, again, I'd be an amazing hunter.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look frozen.
What? I got this guy who came in today. He's telling me about the best way to do chili. And he said, oh no, spaghetti.
Hey, talk.
And he said,
I thought Birdie was.
She's like giving you, could you please go away? You want to talk about something interesting, girlfriend? You pull up a chair right here. I know.
Lorian's going to be coming in to say good night. You better.
You're fine. Oh, she's like, oh my God, I don't know. Do I? Just come on. Yeah, come here.
Oh my goodness.
You don't have to be on camera.
Okay, I'm not. I'm right next
Birdie,
to camera.
do you have something to say?
No, I was just trying to talk to her because I was at work today, and not psycho, but like this guy came in.
Tell him about the guy who came in with that guy.
Which girl? Oh, okay. So, this guy came into work today well, not today, a while ago, and he goes to one of my coworkers. It was just 3 of us in there, and he told her that he didn't like fat people because the woman in front of him, was fat. And he's like, I don't like fat people, but you're not that fat. Like,
to a 16-year-old girl. He's like, he goes, but you're not fat. Well, you're not that fat.
You're not that.
Who said people are losing their minds? Like, having my children working in customer service and the things we hear about. It's like, it's insane. It's insane. She gets a ton of tips. It's like, I feel like she needs to work at like,
Don't.
I won't say it, but I have mentioned scandalous places because she's only getting a ton of tips because she's pretty and you know what I mean? And it's all like construction workers that come in. It's like, guys, she's 16. I hope they're just being nice, you know, but at the same time, the world that we're living in, it does kind of make me uncomfortable. Yeah. Like, why are you coming home with $30 in tips when you work at a bakery, you know?
Right. Well, you know how I mean, you know, I've had these moments when I'm walking with my daughter. I'm like, I still got it. These workouts paying off. And I'm like, they're checking out my 14-year-old daughter. You know? It is what it is. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, she technically is the legal age. And, you know, so there's that. But hold on. Stu and Frank, you want to jump up on here? Like, literally, I will put out the link. You guys want to come up here? Say it out loud because I can't. I want to read what you're saying and I can't do both. If you're interested, let me know. We'll definitely listen to you guys discuss. At this point, I don't even know if Stu's listening. He's still typing. I'm going to put it through anyway. Hold on. Here we go. Let's see. Copy. All right, gentlemen, here is your opportunity. They're like going at it about numbers, the Antichrist. We're so used to this kind of stuff. This is how our family is. That's why
I'm not blinking an eye because I grew up with this stuff. It was too much, you know. It was just too much. It was always the end of the world. It was and it was great having the like religious conversations, but I'm over it. Let me tell you something.
I want to hear it though. I love it.
No, I'd love to hear it, but I heard a podcast with Killa Priest, and he had some astrology lady on, and she said, people lie, the stars don't. And she was talking some real talk, and that it spoke to me inside. Like I felt like she knew me better than any pastor that I ever heard teach a sermon. So, I mean, you know, I'm like, I am a Christian, but I want nothing to do with the organized church right now. I can't.
Stu, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and come on up? Let's see how good you're at multitasking women.
Stu's got a lot to say.
Like Stu, I've sat around the campfire twice at your house chatting with Stu. Come on, Stu. Come on up. Let's see. Let's multitask, shall we? Oh, and Frank's laughing at him. I'm so scandalized by all of this, but
what are they talking about? I can't even see the chat.
They're talking about the Antichrist.
I'm focused on you, cuz they're talking about the Antichrist. Yeah, the Antichrist has been coming. And the Mandela Bible. You know, everything's Antichrist, okay? If it's not Christ, it's Antichrist. We're living in a world that's completely inverted. And I'm supposed to be waiting for some guy? You know, like we're cutting little boys' penises off. Wake up.
All right, I'm gonna not focus on the chat, even though they are being hilarious. I'm gonna focus on Faye though. But you both are welcome if you want to come on and speak your piece. What part needs multitasking first? I mean, exactly. I don't even know. But okay, so both of you are welcome to come on. Share your thoughts on the Antichrist. It's big doings right now. There's so much, you know, rumors and speculations. Remember, like, also with some of these people going on over there, they're still talking about the Kushners. There's so much. I would love it. I'd love it, but
lame. I'm the Kushners. Okay, I'm gonna buy 666 street, and then you have like the royals coming out with the Rosemary's Mary dress.
Oh, that was weird though, Faye.
What a big flipping show, and I'm sick of it. Let me tell you about the show I saw today. It was a beautiful, beautiful fall day in gorgeous Massachusetts. Okay, Massachusetts is gorgeous this time of year. The leaves are falling in the sky. The sky is like the most beautiful robin's egg blue. I got beautiful doggies running around. Like, I don't have time for like, oh, the Antichrist. I'm over it.
Oh, right? You're not okay. First of all, then you're not a conspiracy theorist. First of all,
I'm real.
These are the.
We're not talking about theories anymore. We're not talking about theories anymore. Okay.
These are the only conversations worth having.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, that was me. That was me.
No, they're putting on a puppet show for us. Okay, I'm getting tired of it. I'm about IRL. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these creatures.
I just told you about people that are so politically driven that one has a bunch of like the biggest, in my opinion, okay, I'm not coming up against anybody politically, but the biggest asshole things you can be for, you put bumper stickers all over your car. Then I have the Republican psycho on the other end with a whistle, with his flags. It's like, what is this? This is IRL. And like with politics, and then with politics comes like people like the Kushners, and people love to speculate who the Antichrist will be, you know? And yeah, I feel like it all comes from what we're experiencing in real life.
Yeah, we're living in a mental institution in real life, and I just hate it. That's the thing I used to always get the stupid Trump tards on. You love Donald Trump? You call yourself a Christian? Do you know that his daughter is married to Kushner? Like, I don't even care if he's like what he is, okay? I'm sorry. I love Jesus Christ so much. My daughter's not married a Jewish guy, okay? I mean, she's going to do what she wants to do, but I'm not going to approve of her marrying someone that rejects Christ. You can reject the church, but you're not going to reject Jesus Christ. At least now I'm kind of different. Now I'm just like, you know what? I'm really losing energy.
How about a religious Jewish person? A religious, because even the secular Jewish people are still religious. So you have your daughter, you know, and she goes into a relationship with a secular Jewish person. It's almost like, I feel like a Hasidic would be better at that point, because at least they're, no, don't they have that horrible book? Not the Torah, the Talmud. Yeah.
No,
anyway, you gotta be careful.
First of all, my kids are going to do whatever they want to do. Okay, like I sometimes like revert back to a different alleged age where I have some choice in the matter. But they're going to do whatever they want to do, and I'm gonna bless them. But no, there's definitely. I grew up in a town. I knew almost everyone I knew was Jewish, but I didn't know anyone that believed in God. A Torah following Jewish person, absolutely. That they'd be more religious than your average Christian right now, Christian quote unquote.
Yeah, this is the thing when we get into personal convictions and beliefs.
Yeah.
Every single group is so incredibly splintered. This is where you and I will definitely agree, Faye. So incredibly splintered, and everybody's right. Everybody's right that it's almost like we've gotten to a point. What is the truth? There is no truth, even though, you know, everybody, and Frank's going to be scandalized and probably Stu, but just hear me out, okay? Everybody's right. Everybody has the truth. When everybody has the truth and they're willing to kill each other over the truth, who's right? You know what I'm saying? Who's right? So that's where I think the whole spirit of the Antichrist and the Antichrist age does become relevant when we start noticing these things, you know? So I don't know. I probably just scandalized everybody again this week. People were quite scandalized by my makeup last week. Whatever. I'm not here to appease. I'm here to talk to Faye.
Yeah. Let them be scandalized. Let them get a life. They probably sent their kids to school in a mask, losers, you know? And they're mad at you for wearing makeup. Get a grip. These people have, like, seriously, I have no time for these people. Today I had, like, an epiphany driving to work in the dark because, like, I'm not a morning person, but I, like, go to work and, like, I have to work in the morning. I have to get up and do it. And it's very, very, very starting the day, like, you know, I was kind of like resentful of my phone. Last night I got a stupid work email at 5:30 from one job. And, you know, it's like, you know, everyone just has a right to, oh, and then we got a call from the vet that we have to wear a mask like last night. It's like, well, coming into my world while I'm at home, trying to have dinner with my family, just like, here's some anxiety. Here's some anxiety for you. We have every right. Here's a stupid email at work. And I was really upset about it. And then I was like driving to work and I really like just felt acceptance. I'm like, you're in a fallen angel penal colony. You're doing time. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to deal with anxiety. You're going to have to deal with crap. So just deal with it. That's like the message I got. And then I was just like for myself. And I was like, stop being such a crybaby. But clearly,
Yeah.
I'm still...
Oh my gosh. I had caps locks on. Anyway. People are fooling around. I gotta like.
You're not even listening to me. This is Clown World Cousins. This is.
I know. All right.
This is Mary in the chat and Faye being insane by herself. No one listening. Just
no. I'm sorry. I do have to. How do you hide chat, Faye? I have to do that because I am so distracted. I feel like they were just being. They're just being silly, but it's like be nice. Don't be silly. All right, hold on. Let me get rid of this so I can. All eyes on Faye. Okay? There. I got rid of it. It's gone. All right. It's just you and I, Faye.
And I mean, that's why Joe's my eyes and ears. I appreciate everyone that's tuning in an hour later. Like, so just listen to me and Mary. But we are kind of fun. I listen to our shows. I can listen. I can get down with us. It's not that we keep it light, but we keep it moving, you know.
We keep it moving. That's another thing. It's like I listen to people, nobody in our community. True crime is notorious for this, okay? They'll have one nugget and they'll do like a 2-hour stream on that one nugget. It's like, all right. And then I'm such a sucker, I'm going to actually click on their next stream. Also, they're still talking about it. It's like there's nothing new. Come on, move it along, people. You know, if there's nothing in a case, don't talk about it.
Right.
But you're up. Your turn. I've been over talking you. So.
Oh yeah, so I don't know. I like had an epiphany this morning in the dark before the sun came up, and I was annoyed by work emails at dinner time. And like, this is not like end of the world stuff. No one is like harming me, but I was really like upset. I'm like, people have no respect for my time. My gift from God is my time. And then I'm like, well, you know, my gift from God is the air. They stole the air. I'm like, no one has any dignity. No one has any fight for them. You know what I think? I think it's because I'm coming up on a year of my dad's death. And it's like, but it's like, I was saying to like Christian and Ray and Joe, I was like, you know, I was drinking and I'm just like, I just feel like my dad's gone. I don't have anyone to protect me. And I know Joe's here to protect me and stuff. But like, you know, it's my dad. My dad, the last fight we got into, he wanted me to put a mask on my kid and send him to school. He like, you know, I love him. God rest his soul. But he wasn't getting it. Love him.
Oh, you know how we are, though. I mean, I feel like a lot of the time we can not play both sides, but it's like to get a conversation going. One thing I will say about the Morrisseys is we do not like echo chambers for long. And we're going to go in there. We're going to be the bomb tosser for a second. I'm hoping that maybe you just caught your dad on a bomb tosser day, you know, because he wants a conversation. He's sick of being nice and, you know, superficial conversation.
I don't know. I mean, we were fine because, you know, that's also the thing about our family is that we can blow up nuclear and then be like, I'm going to the store. Who wants candy? You know, like it's fine. But
yeah,
it was a real fight. And I know I'm telling you, Mary, that if I said, you know what, Dad, you're right. my kids' experience of being with their friends and playing sports and even if they're like this and they can't breathe, is more important. Like, you're right, Dad. But I was like, are you crazy? Like,
No, if you said,
but I'm over it. I that's what I discovered this morning. It's like no one's coming to save us. No one cares. People's dignity is out the window. Your time's not yours. They're stealing your breath. God only knows what I'm going to see in my lifetime. What's next? What is next? I was thinking about peanut butter. Remember, like, some people can't eat peanut butter, so no one can. Like, and I know that's like such a little thing. But, like, remember when our kids were little, you had your kids home, but, like, it was like, oh, you can't send peanut butter to school. And it's like, people need to leave people alone. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I have to accept the fact that people are going to be all up in my biz, telling me what to do for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm. No, hold on. Okay, first thing on your dad. I firmly believe, now I didn't live with him, I didn't grow up with him, just from what I know of him, if you were like, you're right, Dad, you know, my socialization is more important. They should be in school with their kids.
Socialization, and turning over and setting a precedent that we cannot undo is more important than, yeah, you're right, Dad.
But in your dad's defense, you know, he would have called probably like the next day and been like, I don't know, I've been thinking about it. I hate that about, like,
and that's why I love him and I forgive him and I know.
Yeah.
He was advocating, because the biggest thing that people told me during this, I don't want to get into my loop, but it is very upsetting to me. We have done the precedent that has been set here with what we allowed to happen. I am angry. Okay. The Atlantic came out and said, oh, we need amnesty for everything that happened during this, and we need to move on and forgive. Did anyone say sorry? Did anyone admit they were wrong? No. I'm very angry, and the precedent that's been set, we cannot undo. And I forget where I was going, but you know, I don't know. My dad, my dad. So whatever everyone would tell me is like, I'm letting them go, Faye, because they want to go back. They want to go back. My 12-year-old, who's not of the age to consent, wants to wear this all day because she wants to go back. I'm going to let her. My dad thought he was speaking for my children. He thought that Dorian like missed basketball and stuff so much. I'm sorry, you know, my son. I still like. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not.
No, I know what you're saying. And I was like summarizing, I guess, a little bit, as we do. But the other thing I was thinking, so talking about that, what was the second point you made? What was the second point? You were talking about
my father thought that he was talking.
No, it wasn't your dad. You moved on to, crap. I had another point, but now I forget it, but it's not that deep.
It's all right. It's just the same loop. I'm never going to get over it. Okay. No one has said sorry. You don't get amnesty. Okay. You don't get to suffocate your kids. You don't get to yell at people in supermarkets. You don't get to be completely psychotic and just, water under the bridge. No, that's the biggest mistake we can make right now. We need to hold people accountable. But they love it. I got a call last night. Was it last night? 2 people are allowed in at the vet, and you have to wear masks. Great. I'm about to go to bed. Now I'm having anxiety about that. I'm like, do I wear my burqa? Do I fight it? Do I write slave over the mask because I'm giving up? Like, what do I do? Okay, I don't need to think about this. I'm trying to go to bed. I have to wake up at 5:30 for work, you psychopaths. I made the appointment 2 months ago. You're calling me to tell me I have to wear a mask at a veterinary clinic? Kill yourself.
And there's now it's the trifecta or the trifold. We're going into the this upcoming FLU season. They're because like now all of a sudden, oh my gosh. Guys, just strap in. I mean, we've been through a lot. But I'm convinced we ain't seen nothing yet. And that's horrifying considering Faye's experience. It's just going to keep going and going because everybody loves it.
Well, then I'm not going to like I said, I have my new dog. And I'm sorry, I just sent a little text right here. I got my new job at the doggy daycare. Okay. The 3 youngest people, sweet as pie. the nicest. Okay. And again, Mary, you're right. Nice is a very benign word. Okay. That's why I couldn't go to churchy. I'm sorry. And I don't call it churchianity anymore. I'm calling it cuckianity because that's how weak and disgusting these churches are. But I couldn't go anymore because I don't need to sit there and get a lesson on being nice every week and how you need money. Okay. Screw you. But anyway, so I got this job and I was excited to work with the animals. And so through the 3 youngest ones are wearing a mask when they're inside only. The mask wasn't brought up to me. They didn't ask me if I had this thing. So basically, like, the owner's trying to act like everything's normal. You bring back a mandate in this town. First of all, it's against my religion. I'm not doing it. Okay. I will quit over it. Okay. Like, I hope that people are just done with this. But what? Why are you in the face?
Because they're.
Because
I just literally said there are so many other things going on right now that's saying that we ain't seen nothing yet. Nobody's done. And you know what, Faye? I was thinking your friend that you lovingly call Glitchy, she was a personal trainer who would, play along with this whole thing.
She wore a bandana. She told me when she was wearing her bandana, she looked badass. I ignored that. Like, keep telling yourself.
But at the same time, and now she's telling you that she has death fear as a Christian woman. I mean, it's like, yeah, no, you had death fear like 2 years ago. Stop acting like this is a new thing.
No,
and
she had money fear. She was never afraid of that. She wore it because she had to, because she's a slave, because she likes money. She cares more about money than she does about her freedom. Okay? I know I've got everyone's number in this country. Okay? The money says in God we trust for a reason. Okay? And I'm sorry. I'll get on my pedestal right now. I sacrificed. I pulled my children out of school, which is what I thought we were all gonna do. If we all did it for 1 month, then this horrific precedent that's been set wouldn't have happened. I don't know where this anger is coming from, Mary. I thought I hit a moment. I thought I was in acceptance. Clearly I haven't.
Because I don't know, Faye. It's all very upsetting. I don't know. I keep sharing, and I did shut down the chat, Faye. Yeah. I did, but it's like, I don't know. Sometimes when I can't see the chat, I feel like I'm being left out. So
yeah. No, don't worry about it. Mary, I love you. You've heard it all before. There's nothing new on this, okay? I drive. Okay, so I don't listen to the radio. My radio's been fixed in the car, but as my little sacrifice to the Lord, I drive in silence, okay? It's the only time I have in my head, really, And I just ponder like what is going on in this world, and it's alarming. It is, but the kids give me hope. My son almost started a cult in history class, so that was good. They're really getting out of their shell. I knew they would have an advantage with these kids that were suffocated for 2 years, and the fruits are beginning to be seen for real. All right, are you in the chat? Tell me what.
I'm gonna remove it. I'm gonna remove it again. I don't know, Faye. Like, I realize you're angry, but like, churchianity people and things like that. I know very good people that are in the churches. I do. I know people that. So when you start talking that way, it's like you put me in a weird position where it's like, then you don't have to be involved. Nobody's asking you to be involved. Nobody's asking you, to go outside of your own conscience, but it becomes, I don't know, like a broad generalization.
They're making a fool of Jesus Christ is what they're doing. Okay?
But calling these people names
I blame them. Okay? If they had an ounce of truth in them. I can't wait to go to my little churchianity, cuckianity marriage ceremony. They're going to be like, what church do you go to? I'm like, I thought they closed the churches. Are the churches closed? I'm going to play They're so all I do. Okay, people want to play dress up every week and get told to be nice and put money in a plate. That's your problem. Okay, you don't stick up for the image of God. You don't stick up for children. You have no truth in you. It makes me upset. I'm sorry. I'm ready to start crying.
I know. With the mask, though, the face isn't the image of God. It's like there's a lot more deeper spiritual things. We can say it's a ritual. We can say this, that, and the other thing.
It's a ritual. It's a satanic ritual. But the face isn't in the image of God. The first gift we get isn't breath. The Bible doesn't say that he breathed into Adam's nose.
It does say that. Yeah. It says that. Yeah. So yes, breath. Absolutely. Us being made in the image of God is our soul. And that's where the real conversation is, because people have become so corrupt. So like, sorry, somebody just came into my room. But our soul, our way of living has become so debaucherous as a society that the image of God has, I would say it's in eclipse with the way that people have been living their lives and going along with things like, even back to glitchy, I like to keep a common thread. For money, in her case, for the love of money, she went along with things. You know what I mean? And it just shows the current.
You're right. And it's not just church, it's not just cuckianity that's into the money. That's the real God of our country. Okay? And it's like the fellowship. But I remember, let's forget about the psyop that we're going through now. You told me about the lines in the sky, okay? When I almost had another nervous breakdown. Oh my God, what are they going to do next? Like, I can't even imagine. Like, they're spraying the goddamn sky, masking children all day. Like, what the actual F is this, people? But anyway, so you told me about the lines in the sky. So, of course, I thought I was being a good person. I gotta let people know what's going on. Well, no one wanted to hear it. I was going to church at the time. I told some lady, she's like a little spy for the pastor. She had me over. She's like on her third marriage now. You know what I mean? So she has me over, and she's for tea. She was like, get inside my head. Like, what's going on? You're leaving the church. And I'm like, and I'm like, I had a dream at that time. And the dream was that, like, I forget. I'm not even going to get into the dream. But and her whole thing after I was just going on, like, there's no church truth, no truth. She's like, but I have such amazing fellowship there. Fellowship. You mean business networking? Is that what you're talking about? Business networking? Because that's what you're talking about. You phony POS. I'm sorry. I'm angry.
I understand you're angry. Like, anyway, there's a lot, because like I know on like Wednesday nights at a lot of churches, like the Bible study, and they call it like the Holy Spirit night, and there's a lot. These people
wouldn't know the Holy Spirit if it slapped them in the face. There's no spirit. Okay, I'm sorry for interrupting you. I just want to my husband took me out to breakfast this morning, and I said to him, and I stand by this. Okay, I listened to some girl talk about horoscopes. Okay, it was I was like, wow, I felt like she knows me. She understands humans. This stuff has been robbed for us. You go to a pastor, and every time you go to a pastor, you're like, I had a dream, something happened. They're like, this is the door, exit. Oh, you want to babysit in the babysitting room? Any little bit of spirit, any little bit of power, here's the door. Mary, I'm right. And this is before.
See, I will say that. I do know that you have had pretty bad experiences with the Christian church. You had the church that was all about like online and building like an online group, and it was very it was charismatic, but what you would consider the bad end of charismatic. I don't know. I know that you've had some rough experiences. I'm not saying that, but I'm not ready. Go ahead.
It's spiritual abuse is what it is. It's disgusting. And if Jesus was here, he would flip over tables and want nothing to do with these disgusting people. Phonies. It's gross.
I don't know. I don't.
To the point that one time when I left a church, I was like, well, I'm going to leave the church. But you know what? I think I'll still send them money once a month. Like, why? Why? So the pastor's wife can go get her nails done and stay home, and they can have their 4 kids while everyone in the congregations, the family has 4 jobs? Get a grip. But that's how brainwashed I was.
I know.
It's terrible. It's just,
I don't know. I feel like you're not giving me much of an opportunity to try to defend people that I know and love dearly that do. Actually, I would go to the next level and say some of the people that I know and love dearly are even religious. They're not just Christian. They're quite religious in nature. And it's like, I understand you've had bad experiences, but if you want some night to have a conversation on here, a conversation, then I'm open to that. Otherwise, it's just going to turn into a screaming match, and I'm not down for that.
I'm just a loud person, and it's going to get worse because I am a very loud person. I apologize for that because I am coming off like I'm yelling at you, and I'm not. I don't like I'm toning it down now. I taught exercise for years, and for one of the exercises I taught was spin, and that's when you're in a dark room and you have really, really, really loud music. So I'm deaf because of that. Then I was a DJ, so I'm deaf because of that. And now I'm in a room. Now I'm outside, with dogs barking all day. So I'm literally like on my way to being deaf. So I can come off like I'm yelling, and I'm not. And I am very passionate. I'm just angry about the missed opportunity. I'm angry about I'm just angry about if the churches just did the right thing. That seemed hard, but it would have been such a flex, the only flex. And now you're nothing to me. Now you are just little make-believe. You're just playing make-believe, and that's sad because I've healed my children in the name of Jesus Christ. So we don't believe in the same Jesus is all I'm saying. Please talk. I'm going to zip it. I'm sorry.
I know that you're super passionate. Very passionate, but it's at the same time, like you were saying things on fellowship and criticizing one person on the need for fellowship. There are people I know that enjoy fellowship. Guess what? Some of them are going through really hard things, and they show up on a Wednesday. They're just reading scripture. They're not attacking anybody. Those poor people did lose out when the churches were locked down, but a lot of people went into the catacombs, as it were, of come to my house. There's no rules. We're still going to go ahead with fellowship. It was the leadership that failed a lot of Christian people. It wasn't the Christian people themselves. They began to get resourceful and things like that. So that's...
No, you sound like my friend who I'm no longer friends with because she sent her kids in a mask and she let them play sports in a mask. That's the line I drew. It's one thing. I have a dear friend who I'm still friends with, but if you let your children literally do cardio with their breathing holes covered, there's something wrong with you. You're too stupid to be my friend. I don't respect you. You're crazy. And what you've done is you're ruining the world for my children. Okay, but anyway. But her thing was, people are just doing the best they can, Faye. Okay, you're doing the best you can. I get that. People are struggling. Not everyone is as strong as everyone else. They get their fellowship. But that's why I get angry again, though, because these are the first people that the pastor will take their money. These are the first. Like I told you about another lady I work with. She works 3 jobs. She's not poor. She works her 3 jobs because she likes to. She likes to keep busy. Okay? But like I told you she was like broken because she decided to stop tithing at church. I looked up her church. The first person on there was the band. Their stupid rock bands make me want to vomit. Like with like someone in the band's wearing a mask, and she has to this lady's freaking out because she can't tithe these losers. I'm on my loop, guy. It's upsetting. Like some people Brian Staley is upset about them, like the Mandela deniers. I'm with them 100%, and then I'm like in the same category as him. Like this is what I drive around thinking about this. The failure of the church. Like what could have been if they just were strong and had.
I'm going to interrupt you before you continue because you did say something about people doing their best.
Mhm.
And there is kind of a feeling going around where I think it's a correct feeling. Your best isn't good enough. It's not good enough. I'm sorry, you're not cutting it. So people saying, "Oh, I'm doing my best," like literally, sometimes that's an excuse. You're giving yourself an excuse. So anytime you hear that, you're seriously, alarm bells should go off.
I agree. I agree.
Mhm. It's
Well,
not good enough.
they've given up their dignity. Okay, I was like, so I was spiraling this morning because I got a work email at 5:30. I know, like, to most people, they're like, Faye, that's really nothing to get upset about. But you know what? I'm making dinner for my family. Like, when did we decide that our time isn't valuable? Like, so I guess I just have very high standards. In some ways I don't, but in some ways I do. Like, this is my time in my life, and I don't want to be bossed around, and everyone's bossed. But I agree. Like, that woman that told me that people are just doing their best. Like, that's not doing your best. My kids want to play sports too, but this isn't acceptable to me. This isn't acceptable to me. So your best is ruining it for my children who have to stay home because we're not going to participate in this nightmare. See you later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she's a Leo and blonde, but you know what? Oh, and the good news is with the astrology, you'll love this. Just to throw this in, Mary, she said that Geminis are the smartest people in the room right now.
Oh, that's so another weird synchronicity. I was on voice chat last night with my two of my Discord friends, and we were going to do a Bible study on Jonah and the whale, which would have been fascinating, but nobody else showed up, so it was just the three of us over there.
And well, where two or three are gathered together. I'm messing. We used to be two or more. Go ahead.
Two or more, yeah. So we were gonna do that, but crap, what was I gonna say? My daughter's talking to me, you're talking to me, I see the chat over there. I was saying
that Geminis are the smartest in the room right now.
So I was like joking around, and we were talking, and my friend, one of my friends, Jay Snake, he was like, I have a study that shows this, the bell curve of men. Men are either really dumb or really intelligent, and blah, blah, blah. He's going through all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, but you know that every man identifies as really intelligent. And then he's like, yeah, but then you see the curve on women. Anyway, he's like, there is no curve. I was like, this is the most sexist thing I've ever heard. But then I started laughing.
You have to say more. I'm not getting what you're saying.
Okay, we're talking about studies. Like, again, on Discord, sometimes we showed up for a study of Jonah and the whale, but we ended up talking about this totally different out there thing. So it was a study, and it was showing that there's like a bell curve to men's intelligence. So either men are really dumb, and then there's the bell curve to really intelligent. But women don't have that. We don't have that, Faye. We're just like out there, all of us, which maybe I was triggered because it's kind of true. But anyway, so so then I say to him, I was like, this is the most sexist thing I've ever heard in my life, but they know me. They know I'm just like always triggered, but do I ever really mean what I say? So then my husband's sitting at the kitchen table, and I'm like, I was like, no, Mike, I'm the most intelligent person in this house, right? I am. Meanwhile, my husband's up at I think it was 10:30 at night. He's working on a document that's probably, a very important document. I'm on Discord, and my husband's just like, yeah, you're the smartest one in this house.
It sounds like he gave you the smart answer.
Yeah, but then it almost turned into a fight because he didn't think I was funny, and I said that to them. I was like, guys, he's not laughing.
Yeah. If you called me, I would have been like, well, Mary, no one offered you a $10,000 a month house for your opinion every time. Like,
That's right.
that story, I was like, whoa, it's like I was like, wow, he's smart. He, you know.
But I'm still I'm still the smartest here. And then before I went up to bed, I said, Mike, it is your job to have me remember that I am the smartest person in this house.
See, I don't like
His job. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, Mary. Oh, that's really interesting, Mary. Oh, you know.
it's smart. I don't know. Like, I don't. Maybe Joe. I don't like. I am very like, I guess like I could be a little more book smart than Joe, but like big deal. Like in a crisis and the heater's blown, you're gonna call Joe. Like there's different kinds of intelligences. Do you know what I mean? Of course you know
Okay,
what I
I
mean.
was saying smart. It was an intelligence thing, and we did discuss IQ and things like that on intelligence on the like Bell thing. But no.
I think you're one of the most intelligent people I know. So there's that.
Thanks. And Mike's gonna remind me, even though I do the most idiotic things on a daily basis. He's just like, "Oh, Lucy," or what's that? I love Lucy. Another Mandela effect.
Mm-hmm.
Lucy, what have you done now? Apparently, that was never said.
No, it was not that. What was it? What was it, Mary? You know what it was. What did Ricky say? Come on. Come on. This is
On
your
the spot. I'm terrible under pressure.
soul at stake. I believe this is your soul at stake. You can't lie to yourself. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. You either love the truth or you don't.
It's not Lucy. What have you done now?
Lucy, you got some
Explaining to do. Darn it.
That's right, girlfriend. That's and I love Lucy was just a nightmare too. Talk about like she's a brat.
Lucy.
I don't know Ricky Star in her, honestly. She's still kind of cute. She was like so dope. Like I didn't like Lucy that much. Did you?
Oh my gosh. What about the Seinfeld episode when Kramer's number was close to the movie phones and he was giving out the he was like giving out the show times and stuff like that? Hilarious. See, Faye, I don't know.
I just want to apologize. Like if I do listen back to this, I'm gonna just skip over me going over my loop, and it really is. It's honestly because they just really could have helped people, and they're not going to do that. But I'm going to live in reality, and I have to. I'm also kind of upset, Mary, because you're right. Like they are just getting started, and it really bothers me. Like my friend Glitchy's afraid of death. Like death. Like I just kind of I'm not into this. Like your sister was talking about like the energies of people that take their own life. That's off the table for me. Okay. Mm-hmm. But what is becoming a little more appealing is like just ending it because I don't want to deal with these hospitals because they're crazy. But I don't know whatever they have in store next. The two things so far that have almost put me in a mental institution and blown my mind. Like what could it possibly? Like they're crazy. This mind is insidious that we're dealing with.
Yeah, and I think the most unfortunate thing after you apologized for speaking your perspective passionately, the worst thing is that we have completely lost the passion. So many people are so beat down at this point that nothing surprises them. I feel like maybe that's where I'm getting to. I'm not there yet because I could go on.
That's where I was this morning, and I'm glad that you know what? Now that you said it, I'm kind of glad that I got a little fired up tonight because this morning I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the cat to the vet. I'm just going to put the mask on. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to give Joe a hard time. I'm just going to do it. Why should I care? No one else cares. But obviously, we canceled the appointment, and the cat's glowing up like a good boy, and he's fine. You know what? I love people that go to church too, Mary. I do. I was also gaslit all my life by people that go to church. I struggle with anger, and I struggle. You know, I need to forgive. I taught my kids, this, we've been reading Proverbs every night. I love Proverbs. I love it. Like we'll be reading and I'm like, oh yeah, amen. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I get like Proverbs is good. I tried to teach Proverbs to the kids when they were little, but like now that they're teenagers and we're just doing like the English version, I'm like, oh yeah. And so they're always talking about like the foolish woman. So we just call her Kim Kardashian. Like when Kim Kardashian comes a knocking, son, you run the other way. I don't know
I want to be shown the woman who isn't foolish. Don't we all have our moments? But if you go, see, we're not going to turn this into a scripture study. I would love to. I actually invited your sister on talking about marriage, childbirth, and being a woman from a biblical perspective. She refuses, okay? So, I mean, there's so much. So, like, yeah, the foolish woman. There she is. But we're just meant to not be, like, disgraceful and not drink too much. And not, like, the rules are simple. So then what's on the other side? If you break those rules, you become the foolish woman, I suppose. But anyway.
I always think of sometimes I'm like Job's wife, and one of the funniest lines with the book of Job is when he goes, and he doesn't condemn his wife or anything, but she's just like just give it up and curse God, Job, and he's like, you're talking like one of the foolish women. Like, I love that line because sometimes like tonight, and I'm not going to apologize, but I can definitely talk. I was talking like one of the foolish women.
But I was talking to your sister also about the Job and the fact that Satan goes before the throne of God and he gets permission to harm and anything except for Job himself and his wife, who actually seems like kind of a psycho in that moment to me. They'd never hurt her. They killed his livestock, his crops, and his children, not his wife, because they two became one flesh. If they hurt one hair on that kind of belligerent woman's head, it would have broken the agreement, not the agreement, what God told him to do. So I think that whole thing, again, I wanted to talk about it with your sister and you and I, because there is so much stuff we could cover, being women and having children and being married and what is true. We can go on.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, we can go on forever about changes and what isn't true. It's all divisive. So it's very much seek and destroy, no unity, contention, but like, where do we agree?
Once you said seek and destroy, the Metallica song literally
divide and conquer.
Oh, I used to do that in class. Being a woman is very I would love to. We were going to. I told you I wanted to do this a few weeks ago, but then other stuff came up. Witsit Gets It did a whole little whole, and I love Witsit. I met him in person, and he's a cutie pie, and I love him and his wife is adorable, and she's pregnant, and he did a stream on childbirth, and I was like, oh, this will be interesting, and I had some comments on it, and he definitely. I just, hey, hats off to him being a guy sitting there doing a childbirth stream, but maybe you and I could comment on it since you had 8 children, I have 2, and I've got some thoughts on childbirth myself. Who's this? Kid and Sons?
Yeah, the foolish woman as opposed to the crotchety, boring woman. We are supposed to be humble and just be comfortable with being a little foolish.
Yeah.
A little foolish. I mean, I feel like it's being humble, being a little humble. I'm not a warrior. I'm not like the great women of the Old Testament. I'm just, the old peasant out working the fields having babies.
You are no. I think you're being a little too humble. Okay, you've got eight beautiful children They all no, I'm serious. You are great. You're talented. You made me wine. It was really good. You know your scripture. You've got your own show with your cousin. You're happily married, which is a big thing in itself these days.
This is the other thing. It's like women knowing their place. I invited 2 men up here. They're still welcome anytime. You want to talk scripture? Come on up. Faye and I aren't going to get to that place where we're discussing scripture because Faye has her thoughts, and I'm like, no, that's.
I love to talk scripture. I'm just mad at the church.
I just want to talk about that one thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I am a Christian. I've healed in Jesus' name. I feel like the world is trying to get me to give up Jesus. Like, okay, you watch a stream on horoscopes and it speaks more to your soul than any pastor ever did in your life. Like, okay, but I know Jesus is real. He's being grabbled by grabbly forces. And yes, his name probably wasn't Jesus. I don't know, but it's the only name that's ever had power in my life.
Yes. Amen. But I do think that we do have to do that stream. Ever since you...
Hold on, wait. That's the Mary. I love it. You do that a lot.
I do. As the youngest of 5 and the mother of 8, this means I want to be heard.
Yes, very cute. I love it. Yes,
I don't want to yell. I don't want to yell, but I want to be heard.
Okay, I will shut it because I'm the oldest, and I'm so glad.
No. You're fine. But one night I do think, as mothers, it would be really interesting. Like, you were just interested what I was telling you about Job and Job's wife. None of his friends that came to console him. I'm not going to give too much away. I would love your sister to come on, maybe my sister. Women who are married, who are subject to their husbands, their gentle, kind husbands. The understanding of our role in the modern world and the beauty of childbirth, the spiritual aspect of childbirth.
You're making all the men in the comments really uncomfortable.
My daughter just said you're making all the men in the comments really uncomfortable. I'm going to get
I see. You're with Witsit. I don't think childbirth to me. I knew that if I ever had a baby, I was going to get put under and wake up with the baby. And that's exactly what happened to me. I'm not into it. And I am not. Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
You robbed yourself. You robbed yourself. It is the most painful experience. I've had 4 natural, I think 3 or 4. I forget. I'll count later. And I've had 4 with drugs. No matter what, no matter how many drugs they gave me, that my soul protected for 9 months, not just my body, my soul protected for 9 months. That soul leaving my body was a dramatic experience. So right. I have a lot. I'm giving myself chills. I have a lot to say on childbirth.
Yeah, we should do a stream. See, I'm in a different camp. I like Witsit. He played a video of, and it was beautiful, and it literally made me cry. I don't know if you checked it out. And it was this family, beautiful family, and the mother was giving birth outside on a deck in a pool. And it was beautiful. Her children were there. Her husband were there. I cried because it was that beautiful. Good for her. I'm old school in a way. I want my husband outside with a cigar, handing it out. I was put under for my 2 children. And I used to look down at the belly and I would get like anxiety, like, how is this thing going to come out of me? Everyone's different. And if I had to give birth to my oldest son, I would have died back in the day. I'm not exaggerating.
I know. I had a 10-pound baby. It was my only C-section. Every child after that was a V-back. He was giant, but yes.
So I'm just old school. Like, it was beautiful for the hippie couple to have, and I'm not making fun of them. Like, it's beautiful that they did that, and I literally cried. But for me, I want my husband out in the waiting room. I want to be surrounded by women. I don't want any man there. Like I'm just different. I'm not different because I know that some women feel the same way. Like that is just, it's so personal. I don't want a man. He was in the, I had 2 C-sections. They had a cloth up. I don't know what he saw, but
yeah, but you weren't put out. I've never heard that.
Dorian, I don't know if I conjured it. I used to like joke around and say, if I ever have a baby, I'm being put under and I'll wake up.
They don't do that, Faye.
Asked Joe. They had to put me under and have a C-section. I think I might have conjured it. He was huge. I remember going to and fun fact, I think I've said it before, my doctor is Mindy Kaling's mother. And I said she's from India and she's very real. And I was like looking down at the belly. I got a pillow and I was like looking down at this and I'm gonna need a C-section. She's like looking down. I can't see my feet. My first baby. She's like,
Snowy, you want to jump up? Are you available? You can call my phone if you want to continue this conversation.
But Snowy, you also know me, Snowy, and I hope
nobody's criticizing you, Faye. Everybody knows it's a very personal experience. Your experience is your experience.
I couldn't have given birth. My sister's awesome. She was there. They made me try for 24 hours, and I wouldn't dilate. It wasn't going to happen. Some lady comes over to me. My sister could say, she's like, I've got some lavender fabric softener. Would you like to smell it?
No, that's like when they give you peppermint.
I was like, get out of this room. This is before they put me under.
My husband's not allowed. So Mike has been in the room. He's always like up by my head. And I'll keep being like, don't look. And the nurses make fun of me. But it's like, no, does a dude need to see that on the woman? Okay, see, this is why Snowy, call in. Let's get it over with. Let's get this.
Okay, when I was pregnant with my firstborn, I'm sorry. Okay, ladies, I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest. Men want to be nice. They love us. They care about us. They'll never admit it. Some men, after witnessing childbirth, are no longer attracted to their woman. That's a fact. Okay, it's not all men. For some men, it could be the most beautiful thing they've ever seen. But I'm not risking it. Get the hell out of the room. Yeah.
Back in the day, they used to talk about men fainting in the delivery room because then nobody needs to see that. None of us are trained. I remember them even asking me if I wanted mirrors. Like, you want a mirror? You want to see? It's like, no. I'm disassociating myself from this horror that is going on. I definitely don't want my husband to see it, you know?
I'm very old school. He was in the room, but there's a big thing up. It was a C-section. And I had 2 C-sections. I'm proud of it. I don't mind my C-sections. I would have died if I didn't have a C-section. I kind of knew I always would have it, but no, I think that it's just my opinion. I just want women there. I don't think that men need to be in the room. I'm very old school.
I feel like this needs to be its own life, though.
I'm sorry if I'm insulting people, but I think the men should be outside smoking cigars. I do.
Oh, and my husband would like try to comfort me. I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, just nobody touch me."
Right. Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Nobody touch me. Nobody. It wasn't me attacking my husband. It's like everything hurts. Please, you know. So anyway, all right. We're not going to continue with that. Maybe we'll get your sister on board.
Yeah.
And I actually have another paranormal story I didn't tell because it has to do with childbirth. No, I want to save it for a night that we're talking about these things. And it's very, very dramatic, the entire thing that happened. And your sister had a kind of a similar spiritual experience in childbirth. So anyway, another night. But yeah,
that's a teaser.
It is a teaser.
Yeah, that was one thing that go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
That was one thing that bothered me. I love the thing about the Marilyn Netflix movie. I'm sorry if I keep going back to that too, but you know what? The more I think about it, it really bothers me. They kept showing Marilyn having these pregnancies, and the baby, the little fetus, just means little child. So the fetus would be like talking to her in her mind. I really want to spit in the person controlling Marilyn Monroe's estate's face.
Okay, I'm so happy. This is the perfect note to wrap it up on because it's kind of light and fluffy, and I feel like we're kind of intense. But we're not always intense. Either we're low energy or we're high energy. Right. Sometimes
you're a Gemini. You're the smartest. I'm a Scorpio, and Scorpios are, I'm textbook.
So going through the news this week, I came across an article, and it said that Jeffrey Dahmer, his father, Lyle Dahmer, is trying to sue over the Netflix series. Okay, let me finish because this might take a second. So he is upset at not only the way he was portrayed by the series, but also the artistic liberty that they took with his. Hold on. I said, let me finish, and I have to build on this one. The artistic liberty they took with his son. Okay, so I read that. I'm like, wait a second. I run downstairs, then upstairs again to talk to my husband. I'm like, Mike, did you know that, Lyle Dahmer is trying to sue Netflix? And he's just like, who cares? I was like, he's offended by the way his serial killer son is being portrayed in a Netflix series, but there's not one person who can defend Marilyn Monroe who has rights to her name. It all came full circle to me, Faye. It all came full circle.
Really, just like maybe that could be like my materialist cause. I was thinking about Elvis that brought me into it. At least Lisa Marie and Priscilla are the ones that get the money from Elvis's estate. Yeah. This grabbly lady that's exploiting this woman. I don't like it. I think it's a crime being committed in front of all of our eyes. That's interesting about the Dahmer thing. It ties right into it. No one's no one is. I had to shut it off at a certain point. What they like to talk about liberties they took with this poor woman. It's
exactly. If you have a father defending his son who's a notorious serial killer, what would a family member of Marilyn Monroe, if one of her children did survive, or what would they think of the way she's being portrayed? To me, it was just like, holy crap. Yeah. That says a lot about both series. It came out at the same time. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's like a little more on the fluffy side of what I think about it, but it does bother me. And it just really bothers me that if she, but then again, we're living in such a fluid reality. And I think about what you said, like, are we the first generation on Earth? Like, things are so crazy. Like, was she even a real person? Am I getting worked up over a CGI image? Like, what? Like, so I don't get that worked up over it. Like, I've got bigger fish to fry. Like, the dogs are having a fight. Like, and I love daycare.
Honestly, the narrative, that's what we play within sometimes because they are putting out a narrative. Go ahead.
The narrative's a crime. The narrative, so Elvis's family gets what the Elvis estate. We got Jeffrey Dahmer's father upset about how the serial killer is being betrayed, but the narrative that this woman existed, there's no one to defend her. And they're just gonna, you saw the pictures I showed, was it last week or the week before with Joe? I took that 3 weeks ago. She's up there and crazy promoting this. Like, she's not here to promote this. Who knows what she would have thought about it? It's crazy. Exactly. It's just a little thing. It's a little thing. Little things. But my sister didn't want to come on?
No, I don't think so. We're gonna have to do that another night, but definitely it's something that I feel like we would have a lot to say. It may not be interesting to a lot of men, but at the same time, I know there's a lot of dads in the chat. They might kind of understand it, or you know, have their own perspective on what it was to witness childbirth. So
Yeah,
we'll
well,
have to talk about that.
when I watched the Whitsitt thing, and again, he's adorable, and I don't mind Whitsitt. He is a Mandela denier, as far as I know, for this, and so like get on board or go away. But the last time, so it was just kind of like I give him credit for having the balls to be like, I'm going to do a stream on childbirth. It's a very individual, of course, it's a very like talk about personal. It's a personal thing, and people. We could definitely. I don't want to talk too much about it. Like, ew.
I want it to be a whole thing because it ties into scripture and 7 times.
What do you mean it ties in? Is there a lot of scripture about childbirth?
Hold on.
I thought I knew my Bible.
Hold on.
Who's that?
You need it. Did your sister call me? Is tonight the night? Is it happening? Hold on. She's not answering now. The mood struck her. Now the mood has passed.
I'm going to strike when the iron's hot.
Yeah, she did call me.
She'll probably have a very special story. Her son was born when I was in Ireland, and it was a long time ago, and he was little. He's preemie. We both had. It's funny because she's my sister. She has little babies, and I have ginormous calves.
Yeah.
Thank God for C-sections. Like, there's no way.
Everybody's calling me. All right. Let's wrap it up here. I got to find out what's going on because my brother called me and my mother called me. I'm assuming your sister called me because of that, but I got to figure out what's going on my end.
I hope everything's okay. Please, God. Please finish, Mary. I'm sorry for talking over you and just getting so worked up.
Oh, my mother's trying to answer a question. All right. One more. Let me just take a call from my mother because she's amazing. Because I love my mom.
You better say hi to me this time.
Oh, yes. I forgot to mention that. On my end, that whole time, my stream was horrible. Mother? All right, hold on. You want to talk on speaker? Hi. We're about to wrap it up, but you want to talk on speaker on the live? All right, hold on. All right. Go ahead, Mom.
I just want you to know that first of all, I want to know if you're hiding something from me about your health. I'm going to beat the crap out of you.
She was listening.
Yeah, but anyway, I want you to know that having worked with the elderly, of which I am one, I have known so many young old people and so many old young people, of which I am one.
All right. Yeah. Absolutely. I love that about you. I love the fact that you're like, wait, I forget how old I am until I look in the mirror. You're still out there working, doing your thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, I just want to say, age it's all in your mind.
Yeah.
As long as, please God, you have good health.
Well,
yeah.
Auntie Mary, you need to talk to my mom because my sister would agree. I feel like my mom, even though she works and stuff, like ever since she turned 50, she's like, well, I'm old now. That's it. It's like, Mom, you're not old at all.
Well, sometimes it has to do with your antecedents. Sometimes if her mother was old, she, that's her example. As you know, Nana worked till she was 74 when she couldn't walk anymore, practically. So, you just have to get up every day and thank God for your good health and go out there and kick butt.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I have to say this also.
Yeah.
Spending time with young people is absolutely imperative to your state of mind.
I agree with that. I agree with that totally. But also,
So Mary, when you're 80 and Sebby's in his 20s, you'll still be a kid.
Yeah.
How old do you think I am?
Mary, I don't even know.
Yeah, he would be in his 40s.
Well, it's just hang out with them.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm 57, but I partied in the 80s, so that makes me 97. Not necessarily. I agree with my mother. My dad was old before I was born, and for some reason, praise God, he's still with us. But
his whole family was old. His whole family was old.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think there is something to that. If not like just your attitude and your perspective about life, instead of just throwing in the towel.
You have to take the grandson by the throat down at the cottage, put your fist in his face and say, if you talk to me like that one more time, I'm going to kill you. And they know you're a threat at 78 years old.
Mary, it reminds me of my lady Jan at my work. You remember Jan? You want to talk about the Queen?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mary. I didn't hear that because I had some pain in the ass yelling at my.
No. Faye was upset last stream because you didn't call her Fazy Wazy.
I call her Faye Ellen.
That's a personal Mandela effect. I thought that your mother called me Fazy Wazy or Fazy Daisy.
She did.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, that's my contribution.
All right, thank you, Mother.
Mary.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye, Fazy.
Bye.
Oh, did you hear it? Okay. Bye, Mom.
My life's gaslighting. Oh, I love her. She's right, though. I remember, because I would always. Your mom's a gem. I used to sleep over with your middle sister who goes to bed at 7. I would just sit up and talk to your mom until I was tired. But she's so right about your attitude. The attitude, young people are acting old. They're like old people. They seem worn out. My mom has been acting like a senior citizen since she was 50, and I won't put up with it. I think teaching exercise, I had women in their 60s. I was and Glitchy looks great. So Jan, you remember Jan? Jan was like,
oh yeah,
Faye, I want to talk about the Queen. And I was like, Jan, stop being crazy. But anyway, so Jan hurt herself. Okay, so she wasn't able to come and do her laps in the pool. Well, Jan is making a comeback. She comes back. This woman, she's on her walker. We have a big parking lot too. I'm not joking. It's not like she's sitting. She doesn't park at handicap and just come right in. At my work, just getting into the place is a workout for this woman. She comes in on her walker. She has no wrinkles on her face. She's got skin like you. She wasn't a sun worshiper like me, but she's just glowing. She's like, "Hi, Faye. I hurt myself, but I'm back." And Jan. She's awesome. She's got her walker, swim, and she's got her swimsuits, and I love her. And your mom and her, I love it. That's who we have to emulate.
Amazing. All right, we're gonna wrap it up there. So some night, God willing, we'll be able to talk about that whole women's issues. We'll just pretend they're called the women's issues night, but I think men should hear it because we're honest and we're not trying to be dudes out there. We're actual women that have femininity and have a perspective on things that men expect us to do, be wives and mothers. So another night.
Nothing wrong with that. I love being a wife. I love being the mother's the challenging part. The wife's easy, but I picked a good husband.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. And we'll see you, God willing, next week. Any last words, Faye, before I hit the end broadcast?
Just, I love you, cuz, and thanks for your patience. And I get on my loops about this, and I get about and I'm sorry, you've heard it all before. You're welcome to like just mute me. I think that's what they do on some streams. Like, it's like, okay, Faye's getting muted. No, like it's fine. Like we've heard it all before. There's nothing new. But I appreciate your patience. It's a lot.
All right, you're already beating yourself up. It wasn't that deep. So it wasn't that deep. Okay. So, all right. I feel like we've had worse fights, but or discussions. We'll just call them discussions.
Yeah.
All right.
I've never had a fight with you, Mary. All right. You have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful week. And
oh, in daylight, fall behind on Sunday. So we all.
We can't end. Is this the last year of daylight savings? I've heard people are telling me. Like anyone has the right to do that. Like, oh, we were taking an hour away, but next year we're not. Like, it's like, who are you?
I don't know. I feel like high noon should always be high noon, no matter what season it is, and they don't have the right to manipulate the clocks.
We'll talk about it next time, but some gravy working at the doggy daycare because we're outside all day. I'm gonna have to get some real gear. Even the owners like watch the dogs with the sun. They chase the sun, and wherever the sun is, it's like a sundial. So high noon. We'll talk. I'm gonna watch it very closely. What you just said because I work at noon. I mean, it's gravy.
I think we're about to go into fake time now. So it'd be 11. So at 1 o'clock, it would be high noon. All right. So check it out. I want to hear what you notice.
Ooh,
all right.
The dogs love it. The dogs are on top of it. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Love you, cuz.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us. God bless.